I'm saying it is the right and the duty of the citizens of the United States to stand up against those corporations. I personally agree with the March on Wall Street, though I think they're going about it in the wrong manner. I don't think they're not really making the, I don't know, the stand that they should.
They really need to take a bath.
It's not the government's job to step in against American companies that are fully within their rights to practice their business.
I think they're going way out of their rights. Go ahead.
Rebuttal? You had something to say.
They're still subjugating other citizens of the United States. They're using their money to put down other citizens.
And that's when it's up to the citizens to do something about it.
That's what they're trying to do. They don't
It's
have the
near-
resources to do that.
Oh yes, they do.
Realistically, without a revolution or all-out crazy violence, which would help to destroy this country even more, the government intervention would help. It would make
the
a
only
peaceful
thing
solution
about
if
it
we fought for it.
is you know, when socialism was first established, it's a good idea. Is we're going to take and we're going to break apart these giant corporations to allow middle and lower class people to be able to do these jobs, make this wage, and you know, and get ahead and successful in the world. Thing about it is, and communism was a good idea too. In the early 1900s, you had a smaller population base. It wasn't as computer oriented. It wasn't as a global economy. The thing about it is you're putting a lot of power in the hands of your government, which isn't a bad idea. The federal government's got a lot of power, but if you put a lot of power like that, I mean, and you try to draw a limit, that doesn't mean that limit's going to stay there. You know, that's the one bad thing about a socialist or a communist thing is the government doesn't know when to stop. So they say, all right, well, we're going to run, you know, we're going to run the postal services, we're going to run all the transportation services, and we're going to run all the steel manufacturing services. All right? And then they're like, well, now we want to run, or now as a government we realize, oh, there's a lot of corruption in the
health insurance.
That's not a company.
Yes, insurance company.
Well, then insurance company. All right, so then they go to there, and then they're like, well, there seems to be a lot of corruption in the timber industry, so we're going to go in and do government, and it just keeps building and keeps building and keeps building, because you and I both know the majority of politicians are in it for the money.
Okay, we have to wrap up in a second, but earlier you said something about resources. He asked what resources, but we never got to get back to that. What resources do you think the people have against big companies?
The resources to protest, the resources to bear arms against corporations and governments that the citizens do not feel.
You can honestly tell me that you would rather them raise arms against these people than find a peaceful solution?
Yes.
Because
we've seen what the government does when they try to step in and I don't know, help things.
What are you referring
with the car
to?
insurance?
I'm sorry, what are you referring to?
With
car insurance?
No, I'm sorry.
GM is now the #1 producer of auto sales in the world.
All right, now here, look, y'all simmer down, children. GM was the only corporation that did not take a bailout. Ford. That's right.
GM took the bailout,
fantastic,
retooled, and is now the #1 automaker.
And now they are in extreme debt to the government.
Yes, and now they can pay that back, so we're going to get money.
The government's profiting off of that.
Interest.
The only thing about it is when do you stop? And there's plenty of tools that the smaller people in this country can use to fight the larger people in this country. It's all those wonderful amendments guaranteed to us in the U.S. Constitution.
Well, right now,
those amendments.
Okay, let him finish, then you finish up, and then that's got to be it. Okay.
We don't have a random topic. It's only 8:05.
No, but we have to do some more stuff before we
go. My car.
Are you finished, or would you like to finish that?
I'm just saying, you know, sure we may have a kind of flawed system, but I don't think we need to go in totally from the capitalistic society we have to a socialist society, just because I think that it's dangerous, that you're going to, you know, maybe we don't have enough government interference, but you go to socialist, we're going to have too much. And I'm just thinking, I've signed up to serve a country that represents its freedoms well. Not a country that says, well, you have these freedoms, but not these.
Okay. If I may, quick rebuttal.
In the early 1900s, we went through an age called the Gilded Age. This age was full of corruption, greed, and people with lots of money using other people, paying them low wages, starvation wages rather than living wages, and also controlling the government through their wealth. We went through an era called the Progressive Era, where people like Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson and Taft went through and made sure that good, working people of America are helped and can get through life with things like breaking down large corporations that went against the people, estate tax, and different taxes so that things were a level playing field. From that point until the Great Depression, we saw a rise in that greed again. It seems as if we go in, we destroy it when it gets really bad, and then all of a sudden it comes back slowly. And now, after the Great Depression, we went through the same thing. We went through a regulation period under Roosevelt and Truman. And then, can you think of a very large economic disaster between 1930 and 1980? In the 1980s, all of a sudden we decided we're going to trust Wall Street again, trust the wealthy, and unregulate them. And through that, we've just gone through another crisis. Right now, they have, the six largest banks in America have 60% of our GDP. 60% of our GDP. They control everything, and no politician is going to fight for us because they know if they do, and they go against any corporation, millions and millions of dollars are going to come out against those people. I believe it is one of our tools to fight this greed and these people is our government. And if we don't use our government, we decide to do it by our own means, and we don't use something that's set up there to protect us against people who are enemies, foreign and domestic.
That's a great point. We'll cover more of this next week. My name is Patrick Brooks, and this has been Tuesdays with Morons.